What's up, Internet? You're tuning in episode 71 of Nintendo Noise, Flipscreen Games' weekly Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, Pete and Bessie, joined as always by my very good friends and co-hosts, Mr. Steven Radford.
Merry Christmas.
Miss Sierra Plus Ultra.
Merry Crisis.
Mr. Max Wright.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho,
That
ho,
was,
ho,
that was
dude.
the Jolly Green Giant, not Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. Legally
Oh, okay.
distinct. So actually, you went for the licensed
Non-denominational
character. You
holiday
went,
mascot. Yeah.
who could forget the
love-
classic Christmas character?
Yeah. This episode's brought to you by Corn.
Yeah. Green Giant corn.
Corn is the best crop.
It comes in the tins. You open the tins.
Of course,
and you
it's the
eat it.
reason for the season, right?
Corn.
It's corn. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, that's great. Thanks. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Oh, I know. It's the beginning.
Yeah. No, we're gonna start the show now. Okay, this is the part where we actually talk about video games. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we've got a jam-packed show, and because so I'll start by saying this. This is our last Nintendo Noise of the year, right? Happy holidays, everybody. We are gonna take next week off, so that we can all enjoy the holidays with our loved ones and get some much-needed rest. So thank you, everybody, for a wonderful year. This has been just a absolutely phenomenal year. Thank you guys for helping us hit 1K over on YouTube. We're really excited for all the cool shit we've got going on next year. So we're going to be back with Game of the Year and like all that kind of stuff will be in January. And if you are looking for a check-in on our Nintendo predictions that we did earlier this year, Steve and I are going to do that episode in January as well with Chewy. We'll do our check-in on like the main predictions on the end of the year show over on Flipscreen this week. But for the Nintendo specific ones we did with Chewy, of course, we don't want to check in on predictions he did on an episode he couldn't make it to. So we're going to schedule a recording with him in January, and we'll get that. So we'll get that to you then. So look forward to that after the break. But to make sure that today's episode is very special, under the tree this week, we're bringing back some of our favorite games to play on the show. We are going to play a little Name That Game. And if we have time, we're also going to do a tier list. So get ready. This is going to be an exciting. We'll see how long Name That Game goes, though, because I got like 14 of them. So it might take you guys a long time. We'll see how that shakes out. But let's jump right into it because we got a lot to get into here. We got a start screen recommended by Max this week, where he wanted to ask about our favorite Nintendo Christmas memories.
Oh, yeah. I did do that. I was like, what? When?
Like what?
Right.
Well, Max, it's been a long week for you. It's only Tuesday.
Is it?
So Max's question was, did we ever feel what the N64 kid felt on a Christmas morning, right? So that could be games we wanted, games we got, games that we remember playing around the holidays, all that kind of stuff. My answer, right, is it was when the GameCube dropped. I got my GameCube with a packed-in copy of Smash, which came out like I think a week or so prior. It was like early December. And I remember I wasn't allowed to play the GameCube, but they let me have the strategy guide. So I was like reading the strategy guide
Oh.
for like 2 weeks, just like,
Read.
oh, I was like literally like, I'm going to memorize the combinations so that I can be ready to play on day one. Like I'm going to be legit at Melee.
I bet you could probably, if I asked you for a page number and to read me the first word, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I know what that is. You know
I
that
still got the book on my
through
bookshelf
and
somewhere
through.
upstairs.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that one was mine for sure.
I have a couple, two of which are the same game, oddly enough. But I remember being a young, sprightly boy, the age of, I must have been 11, and I had been reading about this Nintendo DS, and I was like, wow, why can't we get that? I was like, Mum, I want that. And they were like, oh, like, no idea what that is. No one seems to be talking. I was like, all right, fine. Then I saw a game called The Minish Cap, which was coming out, because in England, we got The Minish Cap Christmas 2004, whereas America got the DS that year, and then the year after that, we got the DS and you got the Minish Cap or something like that. There was a weird swap around where we got something and you got something else. So I got the Minish Cap, and that has been probably one of the most influential games of my entire life because it got me into pixel art. It probably really introduced me to Zelda because I hadn't really played. I didn't have a GameCube or an N64 before that point, so that was like my first big Zelda game. and I think like that then sort of introduced me to a lot of the sort of styles of games that I was playing at the time. So yeah, that one.
Here you are
And
today.
then exactly here I am today, talking a load of rubbish about it. The last game, which is the same game twice, I did not know in 2009 that this existed, the Metroid Prime trilogy, and I saw it in game, and I was like, "There's one copy left," and I like ran home and was like, "Mum, I know what I want for Christmas. There's one copy left. Give me the money. Give it to me for Christmas. I'm getting it." Ran down and got it.
They had like
That's-
60 in the back.
This man's
yeah,
got
probably,
a
they
prop.
probably did. Yeah,
He's
yeah. I've got 2 props, and I'm sure they took the empty case, went back to the stack of the boxes, but whatever. I was so excited. I live about half an hour away, and I was a chubby kid, so running the whole way there and back was strong. I'm a chubby adult. What am I saying? So yeah, Metroid Prime trilogy. Then because this game has obviously been number one since that day, this collection. In about 2012, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, do you have the Steelbook?" And I was like, "No, it's only in America. Like, it's a shame I was never able to get it." That Christmas, he just gives we didn't even do gifts. He just gave me a copy of the Steelbook edition from America that he must
Beautiful.
have got ordered in. So now I have 2 copies, which is why I'm legally emulating the American version of Metroid Prime Trilogy to get that sweet, sweet performance boost that Steve recommended
Nice.
in the Flip Screen Games YouTube video. Plugs for you. So yeah, that's the same game twice gave me all the same feelings. And also Xenoblade Chronicles, I didn't even know what that really was, and I'd seen Shulk in Smash, and I was like, "Give me that game," and that's like one of my favorite games of all time as well. So yeah, well, that was as an adult though, admittedly, but still.
See, because my dad's a massive nerd, I didn't get that experience with the DS. I got a similar one, but it wasn't at Christmas because he got it when it launched. My parents went away that weekend. They were like having a weekend away. And then when they came back, they'd bought a DS and just like
Oh,
gave it to us.
nice.
And I was like, "Oh shit." So I was really excited about that, and I'd already had my PSP at the time. Like it was really, really cool to have a DS and like playing Mario on it and stuff. It was awesome. But around Christmas, I got the handhelds. I always got the Nintendo handhelds. I never got a Nintendo home console. We didn't have an N64 until way, way later. And my brother got the GameCube and the Wii. So like the excitement that was for like his really, like he opened the present, he got the GameCube, and like we all played it, and it was there in the house, but it was his. The Wii was like really cool though. I remember like him opening that, and it was impossible to get that Christmas. Like I was amazed that my parents had managed to get a Nintendo Wii, and we were all playing like bowling and stuff, and Wii Sports and Mario Kart. I think were the only 2 games that we ended up really really playing. But I got the Game Boy Color. I'll always remember the first time I got my own handheld console, which was the Game Boy Color. I had the purple
the
one.
man's
I
got
know
your
Pete's
props
got the
for you.
teal
He's
I
one.
have,
got
a,
your
I have a
props.
prop for you.
I sold mine, and I regret selling it. I sold it when I got my Game Boy Advance, and I really regret it. Prior to that, like my dad had a Game Boy Pocket, and I used to borrow that all the time. So I think he got sick of me borrowing his Game Boy and decided to get me a Game Boy Color. But I got the Game Boy Color, but I got no games with it for Christmas
What?
from
But
my parents.
you
Right?
loved hearing that
I
bling,
thought I was like,
bling at the start.
what are we gonna do? But every Christmas, what we used to do is we would open presents at ours. Mum would put the turkey in the oven, and then we'd go to my grandparents, my granddad's house, and I got my first game from him
That makes sense.
for Christmas, which was Alleyway, which
Gotcha.
is one of those like obscure Mario games. Alleyway I got for the Game Boy Color, and it was really really cool.
Is that the kind of
and
game where he's like, "Did I get you the right one? Is this the one you wanted? Alleyway? This is what all the kids are playing,
Pretty
right?"
much. It had Mario on the cover, but it's like a breakout clone. It's like it's a really really cool game. I really like
That's
it.
crazy. I've never
Um,
heard of
yeah, and Mario like hops into the little paddle thing at the bottom, and then like you control that, and Mario's like in there controlling it. It's like the tenuous link between Breakout and Mario. And then similar deal with the Game Boy Advance. I remember when the Game Boy Advance came out, I really wanted one for Christmas, and my parents were like able to get me one, which was really cool. And one of my favorite games of all time, Wario Land 4, which somehow is still the box is still in amazing condition after all these years. I
This
don't
guy
know
pulling out
how I
mint
managed that.
condition Wario Land over here.
I have a whole bunch of them. Denki Blocks, which still has a sticker for Electronics
Wow.
Boutique on the back, if you ever
Did you get it for
remember
Christmas?
them.
Did you get it for Christmas?
This one, so because Pete will be able to testify to this fact. Our birthdays are very fucking close to Christmas.
Yeah.
That year, I got money for Christmas, and so I remember getting my mum to take me into town on my birthday with my money I got for Christmas, and we went to Electronics Boutique, which was at the top of it was either a Debenhams or a Bentals, depending on I can't remember if Bentals had closed down at that point, and it was at the top of there. And in one of the bins was Denki Blocks, and it cost me £5. And it's a great game, really great game. I love Denki Blocks. I also got Space Invaders, and there
Nice.
was like this like racing game in that like bargain basement bin as well. Like I got a bunch of games. I bought it with my birthday money.
The
You say
birthday.
Bentals.
Yeah.
Are we the same? Aren't we the same age, right? We're both 29 right now, right?
Yes, we're both
How the
29.
hell do I not know what Bentals is?
It may be a Bristol store.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. Sorry.
It's
Pete,
so
carry on.
unfair that anything British sounds made up to me. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Yeah, Sierra, that's exactly what I was thinking when Max is like, how do I not know what that is? It's like, welcome to me talking to you guys all the
Yeah.
time. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I went down to ping pongs. And I'm like, oh, what the hell's ping pongs? Like, you guys want to have ping pongs? It's an institution.
I drove past a sign for a place called Buntingford the other day, and I was like, they've gone to extreme lengths to make this fake place look real with a sign. Buntingford. That doesn't exist. There's no way.
In
So
Virginia.
Bentals in Bristol closed in 2001, but it's also known as Phoenix elsewhere.
Oh, I
You've got
know
Phoenix
Phoenix.
here.
Yeah.
There you go. See.
sorry.
Anyway, enough of your British crap. What were you going to say, Sierra?
In Virginia, there is a Walmart clone chain that is just called Gabe's. But I didn't know this. It's just called Gabe. It looks like a
Gabe's.
Walmart, but it's just like, imagine they ripped down Walmart and it's just like Gabe's. Some guy who's just like, hey.
Gabe. That's Gabe.
And I tweeted about it. I was like, what is this shit? And all my Southeastern friends were like, oh, you don't know what a Gabe's is, Sierra? Like, are you
You fucking
serious?
Yankees. You don't know about
Yeah.
Gabe's.
Exactly. So, for me personally, I don't mean to make this a sad, but I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I
Oh,
don't
damn.
remember.
Hit us with the
Yeah,
feels. Let's go.
I don't. I really, but there's I do remember the Christmas Nintendo related, but not a game. My dad got us those those Pokemon pillows you could get like Pikachu and Charmander. And like to us as a small kid, they were these massive stuffed animals. But it had just like this giant Pikachu that was sick.
Oh, you know what? I
I
do remember those. Holy crap. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
I think I found a photo. I'll pop it in chat, but this looks like a nightmare stock photo, so just
Oh.
disregard that.
All right, I'm going to mess up our
It's
screen so I can
erased.
look at it, everybody.
Was that
Oh,
from-
yeah.
was
He's
that from
a big boy.
Gabe's?
That's a big boy.
Yeah.
It doesn't look real.
Big chunker, yeah.
They look like a precursor to those Squishmallows. Do you have
Yeah.
those there? I
Right?
love those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So the
The-
thing sorry.
No, go on. It's your
Uh,
turn.
The thing is when we were kids, when we wanted a video game or a console, my dad would just go out and buy it for us.
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
he
Lost
was
touch with the
like
common man, have you? That's awful.
my dad was just like he was as amped as us about like video games and stuff. Like he still plays video games now when he gets time. He played so much Metroid Prime. I remember watching him like play more GameCube than we did. Like he really
Send me his
played
number.
those hours.
Send me his
Yeah,
number.
but
we'll
yeah,
chat.
exactly.
Max is
He's
like,
an
can I
old
text your
brain."
dad?
Send me in.
Yeah, like, can I be adopted? So yeah, as far as Christmas morning, like I'm sure there's a video game I'm not thinking of, but when I was a kid, like whenever, like I remember like getting more video game stuff around like my birthday or like just randomly
Yeah.
going to Toys R Us one morning, and my dad's like, "Oh, this is out, let's go."
I was the
And we
same way
get
with
it.
hardware. Yeah, you would just get it when we
Yeah.
got it. You know, it
We would
was.
just get it.
I would get games on Christmas, but I would always get games on Christmas. So like, yeah, I could rattle off like 20 games I got on Christmas morning. You
For
know?
sure. I will
So you just-
say, in recent years, I felt that feeling that I felt as a kid when I was, I don't know where any of my old games are. So throughout the years, my boyfriend has gifted me GameCube games that I loved as a kid. So
That's
the
so
original Animal
sweet.
Crossing and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Nice. That's a good
Um,
one.
Huge surprises. He got that game before it went up in price. So he bought it for $80. It is now over $200.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, that was another warm and fuzzy.
The early 2000s pop punk Pokemon game, Pokemon XD. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. XD uwu.
Gale of Darkness too is like such a early 2000s name, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Gale of Darkness. It's like, yeah, all right.
Lugia, edgy stuff. I've
Yeah.
actually got one more memory that Steve reminded me of a minute ago, where one year for Christmas, my brother opened Pokemon Silver, and I was like, "Here we go, Pokemon games finally!" And I opened Pokemon Yellow, and I was like, "I've been a bit stiffed here."
You were,
He's
dang.
got the new one next year, right? Finally, no, sorry, he got Gold. Finally, I opened Silver. Great, he opens Crystal. What's going on? What's going on? Just
You're
get two of the
perpetual
same.
number
hell?
2. Are you guys
Get two-
twins?
Yeah.
Did they not want you to play together or something? They wanted to
Well-
discourage you being able to connect your Game Boys
Get
together.
two of the same. It took until Ruby and Sapphire came out that we were able to both go to the same time at the same time on our birthday, get Ruby, Sapphire, and the Game Boy Advance SPs, and
They-
have the same thing at the same
How
time.
did your parents mess this up? They make it so easy. There's 2 versions that come every time. If you have twins, it's just like it's a guarantee. All right, you get one, you
Right?
get the other. Fight over it. I don't care.
I was the only one bringing in any money as a kid. I was the only one bringing any money into this house, and
What-
he got the good stuff.
What are you doing? What are you working in the child mines?
I was a child. No, because children grow. You don't mind them anymore. It's changed now. I was a child model, obviously, and that I brought using this face. I bought the
And
money.
they
in.
wouldn't let you buy Pokemon
who knows
games.
where
So
that went?
they're
Who
making
I
you
don't
play the
remember.
last gen game.
Yeah. Who knows where that
Wow.
money went? That's knocking about somewhere.
It went on Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Went on my brother's Pokemon Gold probably as well.
That's rough. They're like, look, Max, you got the looks. He gets Pokemon Silver. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was it like that Pokemon had like Pikachu on the cover or something, and they're like, "Oh, Max really likes Pikachu, so we'll get him the yellow one," and then
I
your
had-
brother got like any other Pokemon.
I had no strong affinity to Pikachu.
Okay,
To be honest, I don't know.
just
It
trying to
felt like,
make soften the blow here. That your parents
Dude,
put
yeah,
you
no, your
with
parents
the
did you dirty.
You know, I opened Pokemon Yellow. Ollie's running around in his gold encrusted favorite child medallion. Well, it's not fair.
Because, like, at least with Steve's situation where it's like, oh, my brother got the consoles, like, he was the older brother. Like, it makes sense that, like, maybe the older sibling gets something that the younger one doesn't get or whatever. But you guys are twins, and you're clearly getting the short end of that stick every year.
I know.
That's
I know.
rough,
I'm
dude.
the favorite child. I'm the favorite child now, so it's fine. Doesn't matter.
I guess they're trying to make up for that trauma they caused you.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think the deal with my brother was he was the younger one, so like they gave him like the Nintendo stuff because it was I guess seen as more
Oh,
like,
wait, your brother's younger than
child-friendly.
you. I thought your brother
He
was
is,
older than
yeah.
you. Your sister's older.
No, he's younger than me. My sister's older than me. But by that point, right, when the GameCube was coming out, I was playing stuff on Xbox. Like I was playing 13 on
You're a
Xbox
grown-up.
Live or Halo or whatever. So they give my brother the GameCube and he can go and play Animal Crossing or whatever. And I ended up playing it more than him, I think.
You being a middle child makes a lot of sense. That answers so
Does it?
many questions for me. Oh yeah.
Wow. So does you being, the one that
The
gets
less
that
popular
hand-me-down
twin.
Pokemon
Yeah, that
game.
explains a lot. That's why you're
That's
here
why
on
I'm
the
so-
internet.
So desperate to be liked now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also a child model. Didn't know that. There's a lot of information about Max.
Look at
coming
his
out.
hair. Come on.
Yes.
All right.
But usually
so
waves. Yeah.
we're gonna jump into name that game here in just a second. But before that, let me remind you that this episode of Nintendo Noise is brought to you by our Patreon producers for the month of December. They are, for the last time, of course, Christian Oliveria, Christopher Valenz, Gabriel Hasselmeyer, a.k.a. Asobi, Mary Berry, Wakahula, and Zaid Ida. Thank you all so much for your support over on patreon.com/flipscreengames. Y'all are the realest of the real, and I wish you a very happy holiday. And thank you for your support.
Before we do name that game, Pete.
I'm not done with the
Oh,
plugs.
you're not doing the plugs. Carry on.
I'm right in
And
the
then
middle
And then
of
I'll
them.
interrupt you in a second. Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I was right there. I'm like, all right.
I know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
flipscreen.games. That's the website. You go there for everything else. Join the Discord
Very
right
good
into the
website.
show for our first episode in January. There's probably other stuff. There's the last thing. Our Persona 5 Game Club for this month has been postponed. So hit us up for episode 2 in January. If you haven't already, go check out episode 1, start playing the game, and catch up to the end of Madarame's Palace to play along with us. That's all my plugs for you. What do you got for me, Steve?
While you were plugging, I also want to implore everyone, please, if you haven't and you listen to this on the audio version, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just crossed 1,000 subscribers, and we would love to grow that even more in 2023. And we are putting something special together for next year. We're changing up the format a little bit. We want to have like at least one question every episode. So if you have any like evergreen questions, Nintendo or otherwise, write into questions at flipscreen.games and I'll put them in a spreadsheet and we'll be picking a question every episode. And I also just found out that they do Pokemon Squishmallows at the Pokemon Center.
They do.
There's a Pikachu and a Gengar, and I'm on eBay, and they're 160 quid.
No.
So that's probably enough.
Little rich for your blood.
That's not like you. That's not like
Yeah,
you
they
at
were
all.
$25.99, but they're all sold out.
All right.
You saying evergreen questions? Sorry, Pete. You saying evergreen questions means we're going to get a lot of questions about like fir trees now, and
Yes.
I want to answer them every time. Sorry, that's my one handbrake of the show that I get every time. Carry on.
That's your one handbrake. Okay. All
There
right. So, if you aren't familiar with Name That Game, this is a game that originated on me and Steve's old podcast that we play every once in a while, where the way that the game works is the host, who is usually Steve, reads a video game description, and then each of our contestants has to buzz in by saying their name. Whichever name I hear first, I will call on you, and then you can guess the title of the game.
So I can say someone else's name. I can say Max if I think he doesn't know the answer. Is that right?
You could do that, I guess, if you want. Yeah, sure.
Wait, was that a twist? Sorry, was there a twist in it that I just missed? I zoned out because I thought it was just a normal rule.
I thought we buzz in.
No, yeah, he's kidding. You just buzz
Taking
in.
the piss.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm with
He's
you
just
now. Yeah,
messing
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He really did. He got in my head there. I'm.
So all you
Wow.
have to do is say Max or Sierra or Steve, and whoever I hear will get to go. And if you guess the name of the game correctly, you will get a point, right? We do have a tiebreaker as well, so we can break it up. But we've got 12 rounds here, so we got quite a few games to get through. And the special, Christmas twist I have on this is these are all exclusively Nintendo games that were released in December.
Nice.
Not
Before we start
necessarily-
release-
Ah.
We're an international podcast, so it could be in Japan, it could be in Europe, it could be in North
Mhm.
America,
Oh no.
but they were all released in December.
the Minish cap. Can you resend me the answers before we start, Pete? I've lost the link. Just,
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Cheers, man.
Okay. What do you got for me?
Is there a master list or
No,
are we
no. He's
literally
messing with
going
you.
off of...
He's messing. Nobody has the
Please.
answers. I'm the only one with the list. All you got to do is
Sierra, have you played this before?
No.
No.
Okay, so Pete's gonna read out a description and he's gonna blank out certain words. So it'll be like, blank in blank of the blank, and then like you'll have to figure out like what it is, and it'll be like Mario and Super Mario Odyssey and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So like a
It'll
good
become
example.
clear.
A good example, right? I'll give you an example of a game description. I'm gonna go to Nintendo.com right now and find a game, and
I have only played this once and I won, so my streak is hot right now,
Mm.
and I don't want to lose it.
I'm usually the host, so I don't think I've ever played
This is Steve's first time playing, and I decided I was just
Wow.
tired of winning all the time. So I'm.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna give you guys a chance.
The odds
Um,
are heavily stacked in my favor right now, then, considering I'm the only winner
Mhm.
and the only one that's played it.
So here we go.
go.
So like, for example, I'm reading the description of Pokemon Scarlet, right? And this is how I would read it: catch, battle, and train blank in the Paldea region, a vast land filled with lakes, towering peaks, wastelands, small towns, and sprawling cities. Explore a wide open world at your own pace and traverse land, blah 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 blah, and form-shifting legendary blank. So like,
Max,
I'd say Steve.
Pokemon Black.
Pokemon
right? So
Pokemon Yellow.
if you hear it and you know the answer, you'd go Sierra, and then you'd guess Pokemon Scarlet, right? And if you win,
All right.
if you get it right, you get a point.
All right. Well, rip. I love winning. I know nothing. So let's
Here's the
go.
thing, Sierra. I picked games that speak to the three of your interests. I opened every Nintendo game released in December, and then I tried to siphon it down so that it would be one that I think all of you should know these games well enough. So
Serious data crunching.
I think we're gonna keep it interesting. So we'll see how it goes. But also, right? We're just having fun. We're just having fun here. It's just for funsies.
Disagree.
So here's what I'm gonna say. I don't have the music queued up live, but I'm gonna say roll that theme music. And now this is Parker's music is playing. Shout out to Parker Deal. Thanks, buddy.
We love Parker Deal.
Go listen to Redirect. Well, no, don't listen to our show, and then when you're done, go listen to their show. So Number 1. The original fitness game from 2008, Blank, introduced the world to the... Steve.
We Fit.
Point goes to Steve.
I'm already seething.
My heart is racing in a way that it's never raced before. Already.
It's all right, everybody. It's just the first round. It's just the first round. We got a lot more to go.
I'm leaning forward.
Okay? Number 2. Lost in a sea of clouds, entire civilizations rest... Max.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes! Good job. I didn't even get 3
Really?
words into that one.
Oh, I was like, is it going to be Skyward Sword? But no.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like Zelda or Kirby.
But you were wrong. So.
Number 3. Oh, he's talking smack over here. This guy's he's trying to keep that streak alive. All right, number 3. Nintendo's all-star cast of combatants is back. Max.
Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, this man. All right.
Like,
He's got the list.
We didn't even get into the meat of what the game was.
He just said earlier in the show.
Marketing
He said
copy.
earlier in the show that he got it for Christmas. However, Ultimate also came out in December, so that was a 50-50.
It wasn't 50-50, and I knew that was going to happen. He's playing 4D chess over here. All right, guys. All right. We got it. Sierra, Steve, both still got a lot of opportunities. All right. So right now, we got 1 for Steve, 2 for Max. Let's keep going. Number 4. Warm up and throw yourself into the action with the hit sports game that will have you hooked faster than you can swing a tennis racket.
Max.
Steve.
Max.
I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna go with Wii Sports.
Yes.
I thought Resort, and then I thought Resort would be a summer one, right? So.
Okay.
Did Wii Sports actually come out in December? Like, when did the Wii release? Wasn't that like
It must
a
have
packing
been
game?
Yeah, it was a packing game. I think the Wii must have come out because I got it later in the summer, so it could only be one at each end, right?
It came out in, I think, 3 different territories in December. All right. Number 5. Blank combines classic platform gaming and the power of Blank to create a brand new experience that's fun to play alone or with friends and family. Lead Mario through worlds of adventure using the Wii Remote. And Steve.
Fuck the Wii Remote. New Super Mario Brothers.
Is that your final answer?
Wii.
Yes, it is New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
That classic DS game with the Wiimote.
Point for Steve. Number 6. Welcome to the friendly village of Blank. Every player's village is unique, and it's up to you to decide how you spend your time
Max.
there.
Ooh.
Steve.
Animal Crossing New Leaf.
No.
Max. Animal Crossing.
No.
Sierra. Animal
I will
Crossing
say
Wild World.
it is Wild World.
get
There
to
you
listen
go.
to all of it, by the
No,
way.
I was guessing.
You could
Okay.
listen to all of it because we were out.
You got it. You got it. Though. You got it. You're good.
The whole time.
I was gonna say, yeah. If the other 2 go, you can listen to the whole description and take your sweet time. So keep that in mind next time. But you got it. So you're on the board. So we've got 2 for Steve, 3 for Max, 1 for Sierra, and we are now moving into number 7. All right. Let's see. All right. This is a tough one. Okay, Blank has set his sights on conquering Kong Isle. And,
Max.
okay, Max.
Donkey Kong Country.
No. Okay. And only Blank and his pals can save the day. In Blank's first 3D adventure, help him rescue his furry friends, reclaim the golden bananas, and save his homeland. Sierra.
Oh my
No,
god.
Wait,
Steve
no,
was
I
first.
think
Steve was
Steve was
first.
Oh, Steve was
yeah.
first? Okay, I
Sierra,
didn't hear him.
Not to immediately leap to Steve's defense there. Sorry.
Donkey Kong 64.
That is correct.
Golden Bananas, man. Should have.
Oh, I was gonna say Tropical Freeze.
Great game, admittedly. Great game.
Frozen Ape.
All right. Mario, Luigi, and the whole gang are back, which means it's time for a brand new party. This installment of the ever popular
Max.
Max?
Blank. Why did I say blank? Sorry, I said blank. I should have said Max. Mario Party. Oh, this could be so many of them, couldn't it? Really? December.
I swear to God.
5.
5 is what you said?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
No.
The latest installment of the ever popular series packs over 75 all new minigames, 5 multiplayer game boards, and 3 solo boards to play across, and a Nintendo GameCube microphone, essential for those
Steve.
games. Steve,
Mario Party 6.
that's correct.
I was one off.
Fucking microphone. I remember
would never have-
cheating
that
so
would've done
bad with that microphone. My sister got so mad because there's this one game where you have to say the fruit, and I used to say ban orange, and it would just like randomly pick which one to go for.
You cheater.
That is unbelievable.
He's such a little
Wow.
bastard.
Bananas. Dad, why did that work? Oh my god.
All right, number 9. It's the Battle of the Bounty Hunters. Join Blank as she goes up against 6 deadly.
Blank. Max. Sorry, I keep saying blank. I meant to say Max.
You do it again, I'm
Um,
going to have to skip you. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Metro Prime Hunters.
That's correct. All right. So we have another point for
Say
Max.
my name. Don't say blank. Say my name.
Number 10.
I can't believe that she's a bounty hunter, but she's not actually really a bounty hunter, and it's just like a mistranslation. It's so weird.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I was gonna
we
say
have a.
Star Wars.
Yeah, it's
We
there's
do-
the Boba Fett game, right? Was Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, number 10. Return to Johto in Blank.
Max. Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Wrong. When it debuted on the Game Boy Color, Blank introduced many new and exciting elements to the Pokemon. Oh,
Here.
Okay, go ahead.
Pokemon Crystal.
that is correct.
Yeah. See, I didn't get it for Christmas, and that's why I didn't know it.
It's funny because
Yeah,
we
should get your brother on next week. He might.
you might do a little bit better, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Travel back in time with this collection of 3 blank titles on one Nintendo DS game card. Included games are Oil Panic, Donkey Kong, and Greenhouse, all
Max.
originally released in 1982. Max.
It was the Game & Watch collection, right?
Yes. Wow. That was one of the hard ones. That was a fucking Club Nintendo exclusive game.
Yeah,
Collecting
I
them.
know.
Steve
It's
wouldn't know.
sad that they start making those.
Steve wouldn't know. He haven't collected a Club Nintendo point in his life. Has no idea how to scratch off that silver bit.
I
All
don't
right.
like scratching them. I like having them complete and sealed, not unscratched.
Next up, join legendary hero Link as he journeys across Hyrule and even through time to thwart the plans of Ganondorf.
Steve,
Here.
Steve.
Steve is first.
Link Between Worlds.
No. Sierra.
Majora's Mask.
No.
Fuck.
Hurry up.
Wield. Max.
No, carry on.
Wield incredible weapons and items, battle ferocious bosses, and solve brain-teasing puzzles in this fan-favorite chapter from the series, Blank. Whether you're experiencing it for the first time or not, the original Blank version introduced 3D visuals to the series with a new combat
Max.
system and a captivating
sake.
story.
Max. It's the Ocarina of Time 3D.
It is.
Thank you, because I would
You
have
were
said
so
Ocarina of
close, Sierra. You were so close.
You are.
I would have.
Alright.
Well,
I would have
would've
given it.
said-
I would have given it to you either way. If Sierra had said Ocarina of Time, without the 3D, I would have given it to you.
Well, hang on a minute. No, yeah, that's fair.
You won anyway. So here's the thing. Here's where we're at. We got 1,
Pete says that, and
two,
like 2 weeks ago,
3, 4.
we had a whole thing with the Game Awards.
That's why I'm
where
throwing
Pete
it in
won
his
by
face.
Pete won by a mile and was still trying to claw an extra half point
It was
away from me and
embarrassing.
Max.
It was really embarrassing.
Because you gave bullshit points, but that's fine. So Steve has 4 points, Sierra has 2 points, and Max has, drum roll please, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So that makes Max our winner. Now here's the thing.
Nothing but net, baby.
Now
Nothing
here's the
but
thing.
net.
I have a tiebreaker. It's a bonus. Let's just do it for fun.
Okay. I
How
thought you were
many
going to say I had
points
to
am I
risk my
behind?
victory.
You are behind, Steve. You're 4. So I mean, even if I gave you 2
I think we
points.
can make it 2, and then you can find another tie.
Here's the thing, Steve. Yeah.
What
Yes.
do you mean? Why?
Yes.
Why?
I'll give that to you.
Why?
Why? Because it's
Why?
interesting. Let's just do it.
Good television.
That's right. It's good television. Number 1, head back. Or I'm sorry, number 13. Head back to Hyrule for some target practice in blank.
Max.
Steve.
Max.
Link's crossbow
No!
training.
That is correct. Link's crossbow training. And that makes Max our winner with 8.
Steve,
Yeah, I
Points.
own that game. It's crazy. It's really not great.
Steve, if you come for the king,
I
you best
said
not
my
miss.
name, and
Alright.
it just didn't end in Pete's ears soon enough. I blame my terrible internet.
I think it's a little unfair, right? Because Max's name is short too. He can just be like Max.
Yeah, or
Steve,
blank,
Steve,
blank,
Steve,
and
Steve,
apparently you still give it to
you
him
could
and he
just-
says
Well,
blank.
You could just go into the mic and say Max.
Now,
Max.
I'm pretty sure I could have said anything. I could have said Buzz. I could have said Pete. I could have said anything, and I still would have been able to go. Right? It's about the knowing. It's not about the saying your
No.
name.
No, the rule says you got to say your name.
All right. My name's Blank. Then nice to meet you.
Oh, okay.
No.
I want to see the deep poll next week.
Yeah. All right. Challenge me then. All right. It's free. Why would I not do it?
All right. So we have enough time for our second event here. So let's jump into our next game here. We are going to make a Nintendo console tier list. So let me just real quick, I got to pull this up and then share my screen with y'all.
Did you congratulate me at all there, Pete? I don't remember a congratulations happening, a round of applause.
You know what? You know what? You're right. You're
quickly.
right, Max. How incredibly rude of me. How incredibly rude of me. Let's have a round of applause for our winner, Max. Everybody. Steve, of course, a poor
Steve.
loser.
Steve saying boo earns. Thank you, Steve. I count those.
Appreciate,
They say boo, boo.
I'm glad that Sierra at least respects the integrity of the competition.
Thank you. It's a sportsmanship. It's just
Yeah.
it's just good.
It's good,
you
just
know.
good sportsmanship. Like a true Olympian.
Exactly.
So it's good. That's great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And congratulations again to our winner here, Max. So what we're gonna do here, this is a long time coming, this tier list. We haven't done a tier list, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, since we did our ranking the hottest Nintendo characters.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Yeah.
the horniest episode of the show.
It was. And that was the first appearance
great
of Sierra
episode.
on the show, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
Classic episode. If you haven't watched it, I think that's like episode 4 or something like that. Go check it out. So it's been a while. And we plan to do this tier list where we ranked every Nintendo console. I think we were going to do it for the 1-year anniversary when we announced the Steam Deck podcast and Sierra joined as a full-time host and everything. But everybody was just like chatting with us for so long that we didn't get to it on that stream. So it's been sitting waiting for the perfect opportunity, and here we are. So let's jump into it. So I've got it over. You can, if you're over on YouTube, you'll be able to see the tier list as we build it. But I'll read it to you folks. And we're gonna go in rough chronological order. It looks like. I think there's maybe a little bit of variance here, but we'll get through it. So number 1, the first that we have to discuss is the Game & Watch.
I think personally, S rank.
You know
Let
what,
me tell you
Steve?
why.
Okay. What do you got?
The invention of the D-pad, for starters, is where it came from. That's where it originated from. And I don't think without that we wouldn't have got the Game Boy. We wouldn't have had Nintendo as we know it today. It was the OG. It was the original, and I think that it deserves its place at the top of the tier list. But I'm open to discussion.
I'll tell you what,
I
Steve.
wouldn't.
I'm going to throw in behind Steve because I think the other thing I would argue is that most of those games are still fun.
Yeah, Chef is great. I always buy the Game and Watch collections. I was sad when they made them Club Nintendo rewards, but I think it should be I should think it should be an S rank.
If I'm tier ranking the whole human race, I'm not putting Primordial Ooze and that fish with the legs at S tier because it came first, personally. Um, they have one game each, and sure, the games are fun, but they're not. They're arcade games in your hand, cool enough. But are we going to put it in S tier against like the other games? That there's no point start chucking other things in S tier, but we're going to chuck it in S tier, very very top because of some nostalgia.
Yeah,
I think it's not even nostalgia. It's respecting history.
yeah.
This before our time.
I
respect
I have
history.
never owned one, and I really
I
want
cook with
to
fire all the
collect
time. I
one.
respect history. Doesn't mean I also don't like chucking it on the old induction hob every now and again and saying what a great way of cooking.
All right, before I cut your disrespectful ass off, where would you put it then?
Somewhere in the middle. I don't know, like a C or a D. It's not bad, but it's also
C or
not.
D. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
god, the disrespect. Sierra, what are you
I don't
thinking?
care.
I am useless in this argument because I never played it. I only owned so my first Game Boy was like a Game Boy Color, so I've had everything after that, but I never played a Game
I
and
mean,
Watch.
they were. I don't think
will.
they made them, but by the time we were born, they hadn't made one in like 6
Oh yeah,
years
they
or
haven't been
something
made
like
since
that.
like
Oh,
since
for
like
sure.
19. I think 1988 was the last one, something like
There's
that.
So yeah,
There's a
no
reason
worries.
for that.
I definitely understand that.
I mean, obviously, it's no, you know, it's no DS. I mean, it's like a
Cool. Thank you.
primal little thing, but
It's
like
primal. It is. It is
uh,
primal.
I would, I guess if it's like if it sets a precedent and then we consider the technological marvel that it was then, I would say A or B.
I'm more
Let's
comfortable
meet in the
with
middle
it.
and let's all meet in the middle and say B. How's that? That satisfies me as
It's
well.
not in the middle
Steve's
at
up
all.
there.
I'll go.
That's
I'll
in the
bring
middle.
it
That's in the
down.
middle of.
I'll bring it down to an A, but I cannot say it's a D or a C. And I think A or B maybe. I think we put it at A. If further down the line in the tier list we're just like, you know what, that seems a little high, or it seems a little low, then we have a discussion. But I think A for now.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, do it, but I want to launch a formal protest, and I want that to be logged right now. Write that down.
Okay.
Do
Yeah,
it.
I've written it
It's on the
down.
record. It's on the record.
I've
Thank you.
I've
I hope
sent it to I've sent it to the protests office. It's a
Okay, good.
official place that you send things to.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
real.
All
I
right.
look forward to hearing their response.
Next up, we have the NES.
Look where he's put it, Max. He's put it right on.
Yeah, I know. I'm seeing it. Don't worry. The formal complaint is being.
Oh wait,
recognised.
I did put it on S. Whoops, I'm sorry. I've done it. That's my bad. That was a mistake. So next up, we have the NES or the Famicom. I think again, right? If we're considering historical context, it's a really important one. This was
S
the
tier.
yeah, and I think that's a good argument. The
I think a
NES,
D. I think a D.
no. Steve, if you're gonna sit here and say
How
that, then
can
we're
Max
then we're
say-
bumping
how
down.
can Max say? No. I'm using Maxwell's argument against him. How can he say this one is an S tier
Mm-hmm.
for the same reasons that me and you just said
No,
Game and Watch was an
not
S
for the
tier?
same reasons. Do you want to hear my reasons?
Yeah,
Go on
ahead.
then.
Make your case.
6 Mega
There's
Man
Metroids
games.
on it.
6 Mega Man
Oh.
games. The first Metroid, the first Zelda, the first Mario. Right? It had everything.
Yeah.
It's so
Castlevania.
Game & Watch maybe is the
And still,
Castlevania.
I don't
there we
want to
go.
play. I don't want to play a single one of them today.
That's you.
I've tried them and they're fucking.
Oh, and you
awful
really you want to play? You
play.
want to play those Game & Watch games? Do you?
The
Desperate.
Game and Watch
desperate to play
games are
Chef?
more enjoyable in my opinion. They're simple. They're rudimental. They're just something to waste your time on a
Yeah,
train.
they're
which is what
children's
they were designed
toys.
to be.
The
Wow,
derision,
they were
the
toys for,
derision
like,
with which he said that.
executives.
They're children's. They're all
Yeah, they're
children's toys.
literally they're all children's toys. But at least the NES games have like they are challenging because they were supposed to sort of last a long time.
I don't think you can ignore the impact of the NES, right? If we're talking about the
No.
impact of the Game and Watch, the NES like single-handedly like saved video games in America and the West in general.
And I think
after
for
the
that,
video game market crash.
The gamepad invented the gamepad. Sure enough, the D-pad might have existed, but we had a
no, it
physical.
did not
form
invent the
factor.
game. It did not invent the gamepad. Sega had their system way before the NES existed.
Tell me what that's called so I can look this up. I'm taking.
It's
this
like the
to Google.
It's like the SMS 001 or something like that.
I can't confirm that
Okay,
one.
that's
I don't.
come up with
I don't
nothing.
know about the timeline on that, but I do
Okay.
know that the NES and Rob, right, particularly
Legend.
made the NES be able to be carried in toy stores again and actually be sold to people. Like it
Come on.
saved home video gaming, and made video games relevant
Sorry,
again,
Steve.
and then introduced so many of the core franchises that Nintendo still hangs their hat on.
Sorry, Steve. The SG-1000 computer video game system has
That's
a
the one.
joystick. It's not a game controller in the way that we have game controllers now. It's a joystick, the same way there were joysticks on other systems that were around at the time, the Atari, etc., and things like that.
The
Why didn't
NES
they get the
definitely
D-pad from Max?
The Game & Watch, but oh well.
Yeah, they got it from the Game & Watch. So the Game & Watch, if you're saying it, that the Game & Watch really was the one that invented it,
Yeah, but
and then
I'm
they
not
just
saying
used
that
that same
the D-pad.
technology on the console.
The D-pad isn't the reason I want to put it in ST. It's because of all the games and all the things it started. Put it up there, Steve. We don't have
I don't
time.
think it should be an S. I think it should be an A, because I feel like every single game on the SNES is superior in every single way. Every single sequel on the SNES
no.
is better than the games that were on the NES.
Mega Man is
Super
definitively
Mario
better
World's
than Mega
Super
Man
Mario
X.
World's better. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is better. Super Metroid is better. I feel like maybe Mega Man. I don't know because I have not played the Mega Man.
Yeah, but then it's like-
you had a whole.
Then what should we then the Game Boy should be higher because it has a better D-pad. Like what are we talking about?
I
You
I
can't
feel
argue
like
that the history matters and then argue it doesn't because you don't like
the
NES
history
games.
the history matters, but I think if we're saying the Game & Watch is at A because of history, then the NES should be at A because of history, which gives us
Max
room.
left. He's irate.
which then gives us room for like things to be above it. What do you think, Sierra?
I have no horse in this race. I don't.
But just try to like if you're trying to look at the arguments that have been presented, how do you feel? Like, do you think we should be should history and the impact of the console matter?
Because now the thing is, like, now I'm thinking about my vote for the Game & Watch, and I'm like, do I have to recontextualize that too?
It's a valid question.
Steve hasn't, so I'm giving it a second thought.
No, Steve's being bitter.
Yeah, he is.
Steve's
No,
an
I
NES hater.
genuinely don't think it should be an S rank. I feel like
I'll tell you this:
the
if it's
console itself
Mm.
was a nightmare. It broke all the fucking time because of the stupid toaster design. The controller is horrible to hold and use because it's uncomfortable. The SNES improves it in every single way with a top-loading design, with better games, with a better controller,
look,
and I feel like that one belongs in S rank and the NES belongs in A.
I'll tell you this: if it's A, then Game & Watch is definitely not going to be S.
I can compromise
that's
with
fine.
A. I can compromise with A, but I would
Alright.
like to still launch my formal complaint about the Game & Watch.
Super
I can't
Nintendo.
believe we thought this was going to
Here's-
be quick.
You know what's crazy? I didn't realize until we just did this that Famicom was Nintendo.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Get her off. Someone kick her out of the show. Talking about respect.
I mean,
history.
to be fair, Max, like Famicom is just the Japanese name for it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, why would I be fair?
Yeah, we figured that out on the last game.
Yeah, you're a cheater. We know this. Super Nintendo, I think we can all agree is S.
yes,
Yeah, chuck it
Mm.
out there.
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even though I only think it
Groundbreaking.
has sort of like 4 or 5 games that I consider games that I would play a lot, I can still value and respect the history and all the games that are on there.
Fair enough. So, the
We
virtual
still make games in that style today. Like
Yeah.
the SNES.
That's
is
also
so
true of
influential.
NES games.
Hollow Knight, mate.
Your game of the year is literally a game made in the style of NES games.
No, that's an SNES style.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's 8-bit. What are you
Castlevania.
talking about?
It's
Castlevania started on the
Definitely.
NES.
16. It's
You're crazy.
16-bit.
You're crazy. You're crazy. All right. Virtual Boy,
You might be right.
F.
No. It gave me Wario Land, so it needs to at least be E.
I thought you were gonna say C. That's hilarious. I'm on board with that.
Fine. E.
This is a farce.
We wouldn't have. I wouldn't have got one of my favorite games of all time, Wario Land 4, without that stupid console. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so then the original Game Boy.
A.
A. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in S, but I'd put it in A.
Okay.
Just because the color immediately did so much better.
'cause
and
the color
advance immediately
S, right?
boosted it. Yeah, yeah.
I would say color B. I don't feel like it was a
What?
big enough jump.
Damn.
That's
It's not
insane.
worse than the Game Boy.
I think the Game Boy historically is more important than the Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color was a stopgap to get to the Advance,
Why?
and the
When did this
screen on
become
the Game Boy
about?
Color is dreadful.
Yeah, but dude, like if we
When-
apply the same logic, right? Like it does everything better than the original Game Boy. Like that's what it is, right? Like if that's your logic for Super Nintendo, then I'd apply the same logic
yeah,
to Game Boy
it
Color.
doesn't play every game though, which is still frustrating.
What games does it not play?
There's a select list, one of which is Road Rash, which is one of my favorite games on the Game Boy.
I mean,
you
you
can
could-
play it on Game Boy Pocket.
It's the same the opposite way too, though, right? There are color games that don't work on,
Yeah, there's lots of color
Pocket
games.
Pocket.
and there's
games.
games that have additional functionality on color.
I think there's some games with additional functionality on the original Game Boy. I'm not sure though.
Steve's gonna start pulling out games his granddad got him that he's never heard of. Okay, this doesn't work on the Game Boy Color. This doesn't work.
All right, Game Boy Color S, Game Boy
Yes.
A.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I feel like there's no headroom for any other consoles at this point. Everything's too high up. Like, where do we put
That's exactly what
you-
I'm thinking. We're gonna get so many in S and A.
Then
like
do we want to bump some down?
I think we've.
Then we're
moved down
gonna
one.
I
have to,
think
because
Game
it's
Boy
like-
should be bumped down.
Game and Watch B.
I would bump.
The original Game
I would,
Boy.
I would bump Game Boy down, and I'd bump Game Boy Color down. I feel like the Game Boy
Put that back.
Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP were so much better than the Game Boy
I
Color.
disagree. I prefer the original Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance.
I think
Why?
the SP is better than the Game Boy
Advance.
Advance.
The Advance is so much better.
The,
Invincible for your hands.
the Game Boy's music is so fucking iconic, and the chipset in that blows the Game Boy Advance chipset out of the water. And when we talk
you
about
remember-
when we talk about influence, the music of the Game Boy is like so influential on how chiptune is written today versus the Game Boy Advance, which was when we started getting the like lame MIDI orchestra stuff.
Pete, they fit an entire brass band into Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby. Why would you not put that in S tier?
Those games sound terrible.
They sound great.
Even the good compositions, they just sound bad because those speakers are garbage. There are a
Get
lot
them
of
all down.
trumpets. in
Move
that
them all
game.
down a bit. Come on, move them down a little bit.
Move everyone down.
Yeah, I
we
think
should
all of
move
them need to go
everyone
down
one.
because
Every
like,
single one should move down one level. You're saying?
yeah.
I don't.
Apart
okay,
from the
Keep the Game Boy where it is.
I'll do
Keep
it
the
for
Game Boy
now.
Game Boy
I'll
could
do-
stay where it is.
I'll do it for now, but I don't know about this. We'll see.
Nah, I
I just-
follow it.
I feel like the Nintendo Switch is better than all of these.
Yeah.
So like that should be
They're
directly
tiers,
in
though.
S. It's the best console
I-
they've ever had.
Nintendo Switch S. We'll just throw it right up there.
Chuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
S is for Switch.
We're
Oh, yeah.
ranking everything
Satisfying.
against that.
Now it's a satisfying angle. as
It is a
well.
satisfying
Why is
little.
there two Wii's on this list?
There's 3 Wii's, mate.
There's 3.
Yeah, but there's 2 like normal.
I don't
Wii's,
know.
and
We'll
then
get
there's
there
a
when we
Wii U.
get there, Steve.
One has the GameCube slot and one doesn't.
All right. So where we're at right now, if you're an audio listener, we have Switch at S, Super Nintendo and Game Boy Color at A, Game & Watch, NES, and the original Game Boy at B, and then the Virtual Boy at E.
I'm glad we've been arguing a lot because this would be, if we were all just agreeing and saying yes, put that there, this would be really boring audio content. But it's the bickering, it's the bitterness.
That's what people are here for.
Yeah.
They want to hear me call Steve names, you know. It's all right.
After
wanna
every
hear-
episode, I go cry. Like I want everyone
Oh
to know that's
yeah,
what Pete does
yeah.
to me.
I'm playing the world's smallest violin for you, you gaslighter. You just totally try to weaponize people against me all the time. You do it every year. All right, N64, first 3D
D.
console.
D.
B.
D.
Doesn't hold up. Doesn't hold up
C.
at all. There's like 3 games that are good on it. It doesn't hold up.
D is unacceptable. I think
I think it's a C. for
C
me.
I'm okay with.
It's got the
Alright.
world's shittest controller.
What do you think,
Mhm.
Sierra? You said B?
I said B. Yeah.
My gut is more B than C. But
Jesus.
I will compromise with C.
That's what I like to hear.
Let's
That's
put
what I
it there
like
for
to
now.
team
We'll put
player.
it there for now. We'll put it there for now. We can always
Just-
adjust.
I think it had so many flaws. Like, yes, it's the first 3D console, but those games I really do not enjoy playing because of the cameras in most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not gonna
really difficult
say
to go
that
back
they've
and
all
play.
aged like
clunky.
fine wine, but again, it's like that very influential. There's a lot of really solid games on it. It's where they
Mhm.
really introduced like what multiplayer focused games from Nintendo looked like, right? Like we have the start of Smash, we have the mass popularization of things like Mario Kart, you have Mario Party, right? Like there are enduring franchises that were
All right,
developed on
B,
N64.
B. You convinced me. B.
Whoa!
B.
No, I really, the 4 ports on that,
It was a game
it
changer.
set a precedent.
It was a
Yeah.
game changer. And analog stick.
Yeah, it's a terrible
Yeah.
analog
Yeah,
stick, but
awful.
yeah.
It
awful
doesn't
stuff.
matter. That's still it's
And
still
and a horrible controller to hold.
terrible controller.
No one knows how to control
the
hold
most
that
insane
stupid thing.
controller ever made by people, but I love it. All right, Game Boy Advance.
A.
Hey,
I'm good with
The
that.
original Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
the
good with that.
original.
Surely you put the SP and S then, right? Because
No, I think the SP goes in B. It's
B.
horrible to hold.
What? It was
Has
the
the
first
backlight, though.
clamshell, backlight, first
It's
clamshell.
front lit,
But
and then they got a backlit version, but it's horrible to hold. And if you're gonna play a Game Boy Advance game, play it on a DS. It's
I
way
got
way
more
enjoyable.
joy attaching a little external doohickey to my Advance
the worm light.
than having that's the name of it. I was like, I don't remember the name. But
You know, it did have a rechargeable battery as well.
yeah,
And that was a game changer.
It was.
Mm,
what do we think?
No, I'm
why-
putting it in B because I remember how fucking annoying it was to use an adapter for the headphones, and you had to use either headphones or charge the thing. You couldn't do both at once. So for that
Yeah.
reason,
And we've
I
got
think
the
it's going
DS
in B.
era coming up, so like
Yeah,
when you
that's a good
consider
point.
that, I'm underwhelmed by what the SP does.
Okay.
considering that-
Here's a
Where's the
compromise.
micro as well?
Put
That's
the
not on here.
SP in B if you can put the fat DS also in B and then the original DS up in, sorry, DS Lite up in A. That's my compromise there.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's what I would do. The
SPB
DS Lite is the best DS ever made.
Fat DSB,
Yep. DS Lite.
DSIA.
Is that DSi?
Yeah.
That's
Just
is
DS
that the
Lite,
I or the
right?
light?
I don't want a DSi. Get rid of that.
That might. Oh, this is light. This is light. No, that's 3DS.
No, that's 3DS.
That's
There's no,
3DS.
there's no DSi.
Whatever.
Move on.
Yeah,
There
it's
is
the
stuff.
DS.
DS
That's the
Lite.
DSi there, isn't it? The blue one,
this one.
3 across.
That is DSi.
Yeah. Okay. I've no idea what you do with that. Chuck that in B or C. I don't care.
I'd say C.
Yeah.
A bunch of
what
added
does it do?
functionality that was
nothing.
nothing
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah, added nothing.
Just
but
more
We
expensive.
did get the XL version.
A lovely coffee brown color. That was nice as well. Or was it wine? I think it was a
I
wine.
have
So
the
just-
wine one.
Real quick, are we
That's
good
the
with
one.
that?
You know that model?
Yes.
We're okay. Oh my god, this guy's pulling out 3DSs over here.
Nice.
The fuck?
Mr. Props.
GameCube.
I do have a prop too. This is
It's
my
wine-
original Fat
Wine
DS.
red is the color they went with because they were definitely targeting at mums.
Yeah, wine
Mhm.
moms. Wine chick
Game
Plug
moms
in the
are wine
brain
moms.
training.
So yeah,
or something.
GameCube. I'm thinking GameCube. I'm thinking A.
I'm okay with it in A. Yeah, Metroid
All right.
Prime.
Yeah. That's fine.
Wind Waker.
Animal
Twilight
Crossing.
Princess,
Animal
Game Boy
Crossing.
Player.
That
Pokemon
controller is.
Coliseum and XD.
Yep, the controller is still used today and made today.
My controller's horrible.
No, it isn't.
I
Don't-
love it for Smash.
Yeah, it's
love it for
perfect.
Smash.
Where's my clicky sticks? Where's my second shoulder button? Why is the D-pad so horrible?
It works
I
for
don't
Smash.
give a shit,
Why is it
Steve. I'm sorry.
uncomfortable?
I could not give a single shit about any of those things you want because it's exactly what it needs to be.
It works perfectly for what it is. Okay. 3DS.
The original,
C for the original, I
C.
think.
especially at that original price. Fuck me.
Yeah. C feels low.
Nah.
No, it doesn't.
You really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's not a great console, I don't think.
The there's no
The
second little nubby
original with
stick.
that stupid telescopic pen.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like a full pen. You had to like pull it apart when you got it out. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
The screens are too
The th-
small.
the 3D
This is
didn't
the
work properly.
this was the only 3DS I ever had. This is the only one I ever
Yeah,
used.
and
What,
but
the
the
original
3D
one?
doesn't
Yeah.
So
work
sad.
properly on it. And the one with the eye tracking is great, but that 3D is
I
terrible.
never ever
You
used
had
the
to
3D on it. I was just like, forget that.
you had to buy an external thing to pop it in to have a second stick for Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Whereas
And Kid
Done.
Icarus.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
See,
yeah.
like,
What do
Chuck it.
you think, Sierra?
Um, so I'm inclined to say B would compromise for C.
Think about the
Now,
fact that the
I'm
new
saying
3DS and the
B,
3DS
the
XL are
new
coming out.
3DS is going up there.
Oh yeah, but the XL surely is an A if we're doing that.
So
But
we
why?
have
They're
the
both the same for
it's
me.
the 3DS, the 3DS XL, and then the new 3DS XL.
The new 3DS is A.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't know. It's more
It's got
powerful,
the
but it was the one that
it's
was
more
like, oh,
powerful,
it
it's
has
got the
4
eye
exclusive
tracking.
games, and
it's the best-selling Nintendo handheld of all time.
not
It
that one
deserves its
specifically.
place up there.
No,
Well,
the
no, but
DS,
that's the
the
best of
DS
the
is the
shitty
best-selling
bunch.
one.
Yeah, the DS is but then again, it's also a bunch of DSs as opposed to just I don't know.
The whole family.
But it had the big screen. It had Xenoblade Chronicles on it, exclusive to it. It had,
All
is
right.
it the one that had the NFC built in? That was
Fair
that one as
enough.
well,
You
wasn't
know what? It's fine.
it had the
I'm with
Amiibo
it. I'm
reader.
with it. We'll make that number 1. We make the upgraded one B, and then we make the original one C.
it? I'm okay
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really curious what the difference between these two Wiis
I
are, 'cause
don't
just
know what
know.
this second Wii
I know the
is.
answer.
What
I know
is
the
it?
answer. One has the GameCube slots on the top, and the GameCube and takes GameCube games inside of it. Oi, oi. And the other
I
one
thought all Wiis
doesn't.
did.
They
No,
didn't
after a certain
all
point,
do that?
they
No,
took
they
away
all did.
they took away
It was
I'm
the
sure they
Wii
took
Mini
away.
they took it off of.
Oh, maybe one of them is the Wii Mini.
This
Then.
is
No,
the
the
Wii
Wii
Mini, the
Mini.
red one.
The Wii Mini is the red one, and that should go firmly in E. It doesn't even have Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
It
no, it's
cannot even
garbage.
connect to the internet.
garbage.
It's fucking shit, and no one should buy it.
All right, I don't know what the difference is between these two Wiis, so let's just say that there's one Wii.
Yeah.
One Wii
And
is
we'll
it.
assume
Yes,
that
there
it's
was a revision missing the GameCube ports and GC memory slots.
okay. So we'll assume that it's the good one, and we just won't rank the other one. We don't need
Yeah,
to
the
rank
good one
them.
is an S for
I'd
S,
say
no.
A.
A at best.
I'm fine with
Wii
that.
is not.
Such a
S.
janky system, but some of the games still hold up to
me.
this day.
The
Mario
games are like
Galaxy.
some of the best of all time.
No.
But you were forced
Absolutely
Mario
not.
Galaxy 1 and 2. Are you joking?
Yeah, Mario Galaxy is great, but like aside from that, like I think that's the console with the most mid Zelda games. It's got
We got a port of a trilogy. Yeah, that's
it's got one of the
Uh,
only bad Metroid games. It's got
There you go, Steve. How's that?
guy just keeps pulling it out.
It had. There you go. It had.
It's the only version of Animal Crossing I don't like. It's like
But it did also have like the return of Donkey Kong. There's so many Wii games that if you were to run them now and
Gave us
emulate
the
them,
virtual console.
Virtual
Yeah,
Console
there we
was
go.
great.
massive. All right, S. Yeah, I'm happy with S because of Virtual Console as well. That's massive.
No,
That introduced
no,
me to. That
no.
introduced me. Also, it had
Virtual console
WiiWare.
was huge,
I would-
and nothing's come close to it since.
I would think
Yeah,
about
Virtual
bumping it
Console,
to B,
WiiWare.
honestly. So I'm
B.
A is where I'm feeling I'm topping out.
Jeez.
All right, A, fine then.
Dude, by the end of that console's life cycle, it was a smash machine.
It played GameCube games as well. It was a game. Your entire GameCube collection was still entirely playable.
That's
on
true.
That system.
Yeah, but I'm just like I feel like its library is lacking in a lot of ways. It has a
I do
few
think the
standout
lagging
releases,
stuff-
but there was so much shovelware on that console.
Well, yeah, of course there is, but I'm not going to. That's because it was so popular. They were trying to get everything on there because families were buying it. But I do think that the only thing that I think the Wii didn't do great is that it forced you to waggle a lot, and there weren't
Yeah.
enough games that let you just plug a controller.
Yeah,
in.
I mean,
Xenoblade
yeah.
Chronicles
Yep.
is on the Wii.
That was a huge problem though. Like, and that's a lot of the games that I don't like. Animal Crossing, right? Like the reason I don't like it is because it's not fun to play with a Wii remote. Like it's not a game that I want to be going like this the whole time to move. Like it was
Yeah.
awful.
Fuck that. Yeah.
So what
I'm
do you
not
think,
gonna-
Sierra? Are you good with A or do you think lower, higher? Where are you at?
I just don't think it's S. At the very least, I do not think it's S. I think it's, we should recognize that like it pushed boundaries for like home gaming and like families like actually going out and buying a console for like maybe the first time ever or like first time in years.
It was a big part of
That's
developing like the casual
right.
market, like for sure.
Exactly. So in terms of like gaming history, I think it's worth like factoring that in. But like as far as the gaming experience itself, I remember only like really playing party games. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the casual gamer machine. I didn't play more than like Wii or like WarioWare. That was also in my dark era where I was not gaming as much. But like I can imagine, I don't know. I feel like I wasn't as inspired to play
Yeah,
platformers or adventure games
I
because I
agree.
didn't think what was offered was very compelling.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'd argue to put the NES above it, but I'll leave it at A. All right, so last one, and then we got to close it out because I got to run here. Wii U.
C.
B.
I feel like it's so many good games though. So many good games.
Yeah, and I'd
The
rather
fact
play
that they're
all
Yeah.
those really good games on the Nintendo Switch.
I'd rather
Of
play them on
course.
Switch.
But
Yeah.
you could also play your SNES games on a Nintendo Switch. Wouldn't you rather play all your SNES games or your game that you've put up at A on the Nintendo Switch?
I'm saying
but
C.
but your
I
point
would
is, Max,
I
that
would
like
say B
those
or C.
games,
I'm happy with C.
those games can be played elsewhere. Not every SNES game can be played out.
They're
like,
better
on the
versions on
Nintendo
Switch too.
Hands up if
yeah.
you owned a Wii U.
All right, that's it. It's done. I'm locking it in. Here's the final tier, and then we're going to run. At S, we have Nintendo Switch. At A, we have the Super Nintendo, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo DS XL, the upgraded one. Light. Upgraded. Yeah, the Light. GameCube, Nintendo 3DS XL, and the Wii. For B, we have Game & Watch, Super Nintendo, the original Game Boy, N64, the Game Boy Advance SP, Nintendo DS, and the 3DS XL. And then for C, we have the DSi, the original 3DS, the Wii U. And then for E, we have the Virtual Boy and the Wii Mini. Pretty good tier list. I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
I think this worked out. Good work, everybody. So, thank you
Agreed.
guys for a wonderful year here on Nintendo Noise and at Flipscreen Games at large. We will see you in 2023. Remember, flipscreen.games, that's the website. Come show your support, join the community, however you choose to get involved. We appreciate you being here. And we thank you for tuning in for another episode of Nintendo Noise and for all the episodes that you tuned in for this year. For the crew, I've been Pete. He's been Max. He's been Steve. She's been Sierra. We'll see you next year. Bye.